Hi, welcome back to Glow Up with Shelly. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to make real changes to your skin. And I think I've done how to make real changes to your skin before. This one's going to be a little bit different. It's really about the planning aspect and the execution of making sure that you are getting all of your treatments in when you need to get them in, okay? So I get a lot of questions about what I did to make the changes that I made. I get a lot of accusations too. So I really get a lot of people saying, you have had a facelift. I can tell you've had a facelift. Yeah, I've not had a facelift. You can see that my hair is kind of thinning right there, but I've not had a facelift, and I'll show you behind my ears too. I've not had a facelift. I have never had one. I get accused a lot of having filler in my face. I don't use filler in my face as a general rule for me, because I know that filler has a tendency to migrate, all that blah, blah, blah. What I get accused of a lot is basically people saying, no, you've had surgery, or you've had filler, and you're just lying to people, telling them that so that they'll follow you. That's fine. People are always entitled to their own opinion. But I didn't have a facelift, and I don't have filler in my face. A little in my lips, but not in anywhere else in my face. So I do want to say that you can make changes to your skin, but you have to have a plan, and you have to stick to that plan. The same thing with anything you do: fitness, skincare, studying. You have to have a plan and execute that plan. That is not always easy. So we are going to talk about that in today's video. Remember, this channel is all about glowing up, transformative skincare, flawless makeup, and a lifestyle to match. If that resonates with you, hit subscribe. Don't forget to ring the notification bell. I want you to know when I post future videos. Okay, so let's get into it. A lot of people say, oh, you know, you can't make changes to your skins with topicals and treatments. In isolation, I would agree, right? You're not going to go get a microneedling treatment and it's going to like reverse a bunch of damage. You're probably not going to get 6 or 7 microneedling treatments and it's going to like reverse a bunch of damage. But the more you do these kinds of treatments over time, it's going to tighten your skin. It's going to even out your tone and texture. It's going to increase collagen continuously. And using more of these actives and more of these treatments that increase things like ATP, right? That powerhouse that helps produce collagenase, right? The building structures of your collagen and elastin in your skin is going to help over time the more and more and more and more you do it. So I do believe that drastic changes can be made to the skin. Can you go from extremely wrinkled to like baby face in 4 or 5 years? Probably not. But can you have some jowling and some crow's feet wrinkles and ultimately eliminate those? I believe you can. And part of the reason why I believe you can is because I did it myself. It did take some time, and it took making a plan and sticking to it. And what made me think about this really is that, you know, when I was first divorced and I was really working on my skin and trying to make like tons of changes to my skin, I developed a plan and I stuck to that plan. And I did it every single time like clockwork. And I'm still like that with my ultimate like skincare routine. I like do it like clockwork, AM, PM, gotcha. And I'll do my treatments. But what I noticed is in the last couple of years, because remember I did, right after my divorce, I was single, I was living in my own apartment, all that stuff, you know, I wasn't really like, you know, dating. And so I really was able to like stick to a plan. I have not been so good over the past couple of years because I met my fiance, we purchased a house, we moved in together, and I realized like I had planned on starting in August and just making sure that I microneedled every 30 days this year, because I'm getting married in June. Okay, it's January, and I'm getting married in June. So I had all these plans, and I realized just the other day that from August until now, I have probably only medical microneedled twice. Because I have not been making a plan and sticking to it. I used to, when I first started, when I made all these changes, I create a plan and I would stick to it every day of the week. Okay, but now I'm not doing that. And I'm 6 months out to my wedding and realizing that I've only had 2 microneedling treatments in this whole year. So I said to myself, you gotta get better, girl, because you're getting married in 6 months and you need to make some changes to your skin. And a lot of people will be like, oh, but you look so good, you don't need to make changes. Guys, look, I have like laugh lines that like, they're not super prominent, but they're there. They're there. And I have some, you know, still some pores. I still have some acne scarring right here I really want to get rid of. So I went back to the basics and I was like, I gotta get my crap together because I cannot be doing this. So if you want to make real changes to your skin, you have to have that solid AM and PM routine with some good actives, okay? And I'm gonna link my AM routine up here because in that routine, and you can check out my PM routine if you want as well, they're both great routines, but the reason why I'm referring you to my routines is because you really need to make sure you have a solid routine first. You can't do all these treatments if you're not having that solid skincare AM and PM routine down first. So get that down first and then start expanding on it. So you need to have that good solid skincare routine with some good actives. So some of the actives that you need for anti-aging are vitamin C, copper peptides, Matrixyl 3000, tretinoin, niacinamide if you have oily skin, and panthenol if you have dry skin. Okay, those are some good solid actives. Now you can add more if you want to have like a huge 10-step skincare routine where, you know, you can add some tranexamic acid for like brightening or alpha arbutin. You can add other things to it, but you need to have some of those solid, really good skincare ingredients that are going to increase like cellular turnover. They're going to increase collagen and elastin and all of that. So once you have that down, then you can start really building your skincare calendar. So once you have your regular skincare basic routine down, then you're going to start to choose the treatments that you want to use in order to make real changes to your skin. And so some of the treatments that I really stand by, and I have a whole video on the treatments that I use, and this was a little older, so I actually have a lot more treatments. I have more treatments that I use now and different treatments that I use now as opposed to then, but right, I still use most of those treatments. And so the treatments that I do are red light, chemical peels, cosmetic needling, and medical needling. Now you can also add microcurrent in there if you'd like. That's awesome for increasing ATP, for stimulating muscles in your face. And then you could also add like laser treatments, like the Nero would be another one that you could add into that. Now I do have a new face, a microcurrent. I don't use it as frequently as I should, mainly just because it's time consuming. And I tend to work out in the morning, so it's really hard to get that treatment in because it usually doesn't take me just 5 minutes. It usually takes me anywhere from like 10 to 20 minutes to complete an actual new face treatment. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm just slow or trying to get every bit of my face or what, but I tend to really make that time consuming, and I'm trying to get better. But these are all the treatments that I definitely recommend. How do you keep track of it all? That's a good question that I want you to kind of ask yourself. Like, how do you keep track? Do you write it down? What do you do to keep track? And I had to ask myself this because I was trying to keep track mentally. Like I was calendaring out my microneedling, like on my actual phone calendar. But then I realized like I wasn't doing my cosmetic needling and I wasn't doing my red light therapy 5 times a week. I was really only getting to it 3 times a week. I just realized all of a sudden that I really wasn't putting my all into my skincare routine. So I went back to what I used to do, which is calendaring it out. And here's an example of my calendar. I'm gonna throw it up here. And hopefully we can just like zoom in on some of the treatments that I do. So I do microneedling, I do cosmetic needling, I do red light therapy. And of course it says new face. I haven't been so great about doing the new face. I'm gonna change where I put it. So right now I have it on my vanity, my big vanity, which is like my dream vanity that my fiance built for me. I think I'm gonna put it on my bathroom vanity because I'm just not getting to like something about going to physically sitting down in my vanity and then like doing it and then going and, you know, rinsing the gel off. I don't know, maybe that's what's creating the time consuming part. Like maybe if I had it in my bathroom and I just got out of the shower, and I don't know. We're gonna try everything we can. But I found that when I don't calendar it out, when I don't actually physically, the act of physically calendaring it out, I don't tend to fit it all in that week. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot that I needed to do this. And oh my God, I didn't do that. And when did I do my red light last? Like literally that's how I am. And I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and I'm like losing my mind. You know, I'm going through that perimenopause brain fog thing. I don't know. What I do know is that missing treatments will not lead you to your ultimate goals in skincare. It won't. Like if you don't do them, you're not going to see those changes. And I know that too. And so like I had to like check myself because here I am, I've got this YouTube channel and I do try a lot of things, guys. I'm always like integrating things into my skincare routine and so on and so forth. But I've noticed over the last 2 years that I've been more sporadic. And the only thing I can account for it is that I'm in a new relationship and I wasn't calendaring it out anymore. I went back to using my strict little calendar and OMG, what a difference it has made. It's like, I did it for 3 weeks, y'all. 3 weeks. And I can already tell a huge difference in my face. Like I can tell a difference in the plumpness, the elasticity of my face. My skin seems tighter, firmer, bouncier. And I have literally just been calendaring out my treatments. That's all I've been doing. The same treatments I always do, just making sure that I calendar them out. So I usually start with my medical microneedling, which is my biggest treatment. And the reason I start with that and put it on my calendar is because I know that once I finish that medical microneedling for an entire 5 to 7 days, I'm not going to put anything harsh or irritating onto my skin. So I'm going to drop my tretinoin. I'm going to not do my new face, okay? I can do my red light. I'm not gonna cosmetically needle, right? And I'm not gonna use my AHAs. I'm not gonna do chemical peels. Okay, I'm just going to heal from that microneedling session for the next 7 days. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do, heal. I'm gonna use nothing but like the simple basic skincare stuff. So I'm gonna use my essence, I'm gonna use my hyaluronic acid, and I'm going to use my EGF serum, and I'm gonna use a really thick moisturizer, but that's all I'm going to use for that 7 days, 5 to 7 days. Usually it's around 7 for me though, if I wanna go deep. Because I know this, like I put that in my calendar first and then kind of count out, and then I kind of drop my treatments around. Because also the 4 days prior to doing microneedling, I'm not going to use tretinoin. Okay, so I'm going to be very careful about what I use those days. Then after those 5 to 7 days, I'm starting to start incorporating those other treatments back in. So then after that 7-day period, I'm going to start cosmetically needling a couple of times a week. I'm also going to chemical peel a couple of times a week. So I usually do my chemical peels. I'll do like a chemical peel and a hydrating mask one night. And then I'll do a cosmetic needling with my active ingredients the next night. And then the next night I'll just do, you know, standard skincare. And by mapping it all out, by like saying, okay, so this day I'm going to do this day I'm going to do this, it kind of puts it all into a routine and a pattern. I think calendaring it out is so important in order to make sure that you're getting all of those treatments in each time you need them. And I'm telling you guys, so I microneedled, I waited my 7 days, and then I started my treatment plans, right? I did my cosmetic needling twice a week for about, I think for 3 weeks. I've never seen such amazing changes to my skin. So the reason why I'm doing my medical microneedling with cosmetic needling is when I looked at that Lance Sutterfield microneedling book, some of the most drastic changes were made with that. So he'd have them do microneedling, and then they'd wait a week, and then they'd do cosmetic needling twice a week in his book, by the way, for 3 weeks, and then they go back to the microneedling. Anyway, he did that for like an entire year, and these people were like wow. Talk about wrinkling, like disappearing. It was amazing. Like if you look at his before and after pictures of Sutterfield's book, it's amazing. But it's the tiny print that I focused on each of those pictures, because some of those pictures are like, oh, it's like, wow, he's talking about cosmetic needling. But if you read the fine print, they did medical needling along with cosmetic needling too in some of those. And that's where the real drastic changes were made. But once you calendar it out, you put that calendar in a place where you can view it frequently. So that could be in your phone. Mine's in my phone. And it's a PDF calendar that it's like a Google Calendar. And like, I just like totally revamped it, made it look like Glow Up with Shelly kind of thing. I used the Glow Up with Shelly colors, which are kind of cute, right? A little pink. And so that's how I created my calendar, is like I just had a Google Calendar and I just go in and I put in my treatments, and then I just look at them every morning and every evening just to make sure that I'm on track and like I'm getting my treatment that I'm supposed to be getting that day in. Like, you know, it'll say red light and I make sure I have my red light 5 times a week. Okay, because I wasn't getting it 5 times a week when I wasn't calendaring it out. I was probably really only getting it like 3 to 4 times a week. So that's the thing about calendaring it is that you know what you're going to do every single day. So it takes the brain work and the guesswork out of it. And that's kind of the better way that our brain functions anyway. Taking all that guesswork out of it can actually make your brain just be like, okay, I have to do this. And so that kind of cuts down on that like active fatigue, whatever you call it. You know, when you're like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to get up right now. I don't want to work out, which I seem to say every morning. I don't want to get out of bed. I work out really early in the morning, you know. Calendaring it like takes out that, you know, you don't have a choice. I feel like it makes it more permanent, like you don't have a choice. And maybe that's just because I'm a kind of like lister and calendar person myself. Like I like lists and I like calendars, and it's how I keep myself straight. Like in my work, like I have to list everything out. And I have so many lists. Like I have meeting note lists, and I have this needs to be done today lists, and I have this needs to be done within the week list, and I have this needs to be done this month list. Maybe I need a new job. I'm just kidding. Shh, don't put that on there. But so I am a lister anyway. So I think that the calendaring really does help you stick to it. Now, the only time that you'll want to diverge from that schedule is if you are having skin barrier issues. And I do have a skin barrier video you'll want to check out too before you even start a calendar. You gotta understand that if you have any sensitivity problems, any like stinging problems when you're putting on your essences or your actives or your moisturizer, you are probably experiencing a skin barrier issue, and you're going to want to remedy that as quickly as possible. And I would not adjust your calendar. What I would do is take everything out, go back to your basics: cleanser, essence, moisturizer, sunscreen. 2 to 3 days. Throw in some hyaluronic acid too. It's really good for your skin. It's going to help with that moisture, or even panthenol. It's going to keep all that moisture. Panthenol is actually much more superior to hyaluronic acid, we're finding out now, as far as retaining moisture. So you're really going to want to use something that's going to pull that moisture back in, a lotion with urea, or even the Sugiyaka toner that has the urea in it, right? So hold that, lock that in, keep that moisture in, because that skin barrier needs to be repaired. And you're going to want to use an occlusive moisturizer with lots of ceramides, skin identical ceramides, that are going to really repair your skin barrier. And then once you don't have any sensitivity, wait like a day or two, keep doing just the barrier repair, and then go back to your calendar. Okay, simple like that. You may have barrier issues that creep up every once in a while. Usually once you're on a solid skincare plan and a routine, and you keep doing it like that, and you're pretty consistent and regular, you're not going to have a lot of barrier issues. So that is really how you create a plan. And I like to say you start with a plan and figure out which of the treatments that you're going to use, which ones you're going to do. And then once you get those, calendar them all out on a plan, a month by month plan. And I would say calendar out 3 months. I do red light 5 times a week. I do cosmetic needling twice a week. I do medical needling once a month. And I do a at-home lighter chemical peel 2 times a week. Now, if I was to do like an in-office chemical peel, like a really deep peel, I would only do that once every 30 days. So there you have it. Happy calendaring. Let me know, what are you gonna put on your calendar this month and next month? Are you excited for those changes that you're gonna make to your skin by getting a routine and sticking to it? I know I am. So keep me updated on your progress, and I'll see you next time on Glow Up with Shelly.